The turkey slipped. Grace caught it. Barely. 20 pounds of frozen bird pressed against her ribs. The plastic crinkled. Too loud. Way too loud. She held her breath. The Patterson kitchen was dark except for the refrigerator light spilling across the marble floor. 11:47 p.m. They'd left hours ago. She'd watched the Mercedes pull away. Counted the minutes. Made sure. Grace wrapped her coat tighter around the turkey. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. Just get to the door. Just get out. Just the kitchen lights exploded on. Grace froze. Eleanor Patterson stood in the doorway. Silk nightgown. Diamond earrings still on. Her face went from confusion to understanding to fury in 3 seconds flat. Grace, the word came out sharp. Accusatory. Grace couldn't move. Couldn't speak. The turkey felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. What are you doing in my kitchen? Eleanor's voice climbed higher. Is that? Are you stealing from Miss Grace's mouth opened? Nothing came out. Answer me. Eleanor stepped forward. Are you stealing our food? The turkey slipped again. Grace grabbed it tighter. That was answer enough. Oh my God. Eleanor's hand went to her mouth. You're actually stealing from us. After everything we've done for you. Something snapped inside Grace. Everything you've done for me. The words came out strangled. Raw. You've done nothing for me. Eleanor's eyes went wide. Excuse me. 5 years, Grace said. 5 years I've scrubbed your floors. Washed your sheets. Raised your dog. And you've never once seen me as a person. Just the help. I'm calling the police. Eleanor already had her phone out. Call them, Grace heard herself say. Tell them you pay me $600 a week under the table. No benefits. No overtime. Tell them about all the labor laws you break. Eleanor's finger hovered over the screen. Get out. You're fired. I know. And I'm pressing charges. I know that too. Grace set the turkey on the counter. Gently. Like it mattered. She looked Eleanor dead in the eye. You want to know the worst part? You have 3 of these. 3 turkeys for tomorrow. You'll eat 1. Maybe. The rest you'll throw away because your husband doesn't like leftovers. My daughter hasn't had a full meal in 2 weeks. But sure. Call the cops. I'm the criminal here. Eleanor's hand was already dialing. But let me back up. Before the police. Before the handcuffs. Before everything fell apart. Let me tell you how a woman who'd never stolen anything in her life ended up here. If you've ever worked yourself to death and still came up short. If you've ever had to choose between feeding your kids or keeping the lights on. If you've ever been invisible to people who have everything. Subscribe right now. Drop a comment with your city. I want to know how far this story reaches. How many of you know what desperation really tastes like? Now let me show you what happened 6 hours before that turkey. 6 hours before my whole life imploded. Grace's phone rang at 5:30 p.m. She was still at the Pattersons, still cleaning. Always cleaning. Vincent's name flashed on the screen. She almost didn't answer. But she did. Always did. Yeah, baby. His voice had that smooth edge. The one he used when he needed something. I need you to do me a favor. Background noise. Bells. Electronic chimes. Slot machines. Grace's stomach dropped. Where are you? That's not important right now. Where are you? Silence. Then Atlantic City. Grace closed her eyes. How much? It's not like that. How much did you lose, Vincent? She heard him exhale. 1,500. But baby, listen. Grace hung up. Her hands were shaking. She stared at them. Rough hands. Cracked skin. 5 years of scrubbing rich people's dirt. The phone rang again. Vincent. She declined it. It rang again. She turned it off. Mrs. Patterson walked in. Heels clicking. Always clicking. Grace, we're leaving for the Hamptons in an hour. Make sure everything's locked up when you go. Yes, ma'am. Oh, and the caterers are coming at 9 a.m. tomorrow for Thanksgiving prep. The turkeys are already in the fridge. 3 of them. Make sure they stay cold. 3 turkeys. Grace's brain caught on that number. Yes, ma'am. Eleanor walked out. Didn't say thank you. Never did. Grace turned her phone back on. 17 missed calls from Vincent. 12 texts. She read the first one. Baby, please. I can fix this. I just need time. She deleted it without reading the rest. Her phone rang again. Different number this time. Hello, Mom. Marcus's voice. Tight. Scared. Grace's heart stopped. Baby, what's wrong? There's a paper on the door. A red one. No. No, no, no. What does it say? Final notice. Eviction. We have 7 days. The room tilted. Grace grabbed the counter. Mom, you there? I'm here. Her voice came from far away. I'm here, baby. Don't worry. I'll fix it. How good question. Great question. I'll fix it, Grace repeated. Just don't let Zara see that paper. Take it down. Hide it. Okay. I'll be home soon. She hung up. Stared at her phone. 7 days. That's what 15 years in America came down to. 7 days. Her phone buzzed. Text from Shanice. Girl, you okay? You didn't answer my calls. Grace typed back, can I borrow 2003? Dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. I don't have it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Grace deleted the message thread. Shanice didn't need to carry that guilt. She finished cleaning the Patterson house on autopilot. Locked up. Started the walk to the subway. Stopped halfway down the block. Turned around. Stared at the Patterson townhouse. 6 bedrooms. 3 turkeys. More food in that pantry than her family would eat in 6 months. 1 turkey. They'd never notice one missing. Grace's feet moved before her brain caught up. She used her key. Went to the kitchen. Opened the fridge. 3 massive turkeys. Beautiful. Organic. Probably $50 a pound. Her hand reached out. Stopped. This isn't you. You're not a thief. But you're a mother. Grace grabbed the closest turkey. That's when the lights came on. 20 minutes later, Grace sat in the back of a police car. Handcuffs cutting into her wrists. The turkey was still on the Patterson's counter. Evidence. The officer in the front seat was young. Bored. Filling out paperwork. First offense, he asked without looking up. Yes. Should have thought about that before you stole. Grace said nothing. What was there to say? They took her to the precinct. Booked her. Photographed her. Took her fingerprints like she was a real criminal. 1 phone call, the desk sergeant said. Grace called Shanice. Hello, it's me. Grace's voice cracked. Can you get the kids? Keep them tonight. Grace, what happened? Where are you? Just please. Get Marcus and Zara. Don't tell them where I am. Girl, please. Shanice. Okay. Okay, I'm going now. Grace hung up. They put her in a holding cell. Metal bench. Fluorescent lights. The smell of piss and despair. A woman was already there. Older. Black. Tired eyes. First time the woman asked. Grace nodded. What did you do? Stole a turkey. The woman laughed. Sharp. Bitter. A turkey? They got you in here for a turkey? It was expensive. Baby, they'll put us in here for breathing wrong. Don't you know that by now? Grace sat on the bench. Put her head in her hands. My daughter brought in for shoplifting last month, the woman continued. Took some diapers from Target. Couldn't afford them. They gave her 6 months probation and a $1,000 fine. You know what rich people get for stealing millions? A slap on the wrist. Grace looked up. How do you deal with it? Deal with what? All of it. The unfairness. The everything. The woman shrugged. You survive. That's all you can do. Survive. Around 2 a.m. they brought in a young white girl. Blonde. Mascara running. Drunk. This is so unfair, she wailed. It was just a DUI. My dad's gonna kill me. Within an hour her parents showed up. Posted bail. Took her home. Grace was still sitting on that metal bench when the sun came up on Thanksgiving morning. The arraignment was Friday. Public defender showed up 10 minutes before. Looked at Grace's file for maybe 30 seconds. Plead guilty. They'll give you probation. I can't have a criminal record. I'll never work again. Then fight it. But you'll lose. And instead of probation you'll do 6 months. 6 months for a turkey burglary. You entered with intent to steal. That's a felony in New York. Grace's world went gray around the edges. I have kids. I understand. But the evidence is clear. You were caught red-handed. Security footage. Eyewitness. The stolen item. This is open and shut. So I have no choice. Everyone has choices, Mrs. Thompson. You made yours when you took that turkey. The judge looked annoyed. Like Grace was wasting his time. Probably was. How do you plead? Grace thought about Marcus. About Zara. About 6 months in jail versus 2 years probation. Guilty. 2 years probation. $5,000 fine. 200 hours community service. Next case. 30 seconds. That's how long it took to ruin her life. 30 seconds. Outside the courthouse, Grace turned her phone on. 43 missed calls. Most from Vincent. She called him back. Baby, thank God, where have you been? I've been worried sick, I was in jail. Silence. What, I got arrested for stealing food. While you were in Atlantic City losing $1,500 we don't have. Grace, I can explain, don't. Just. Don't. She hung up. Started walking. Didn't know where. Just walked. Her phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. She opened it. A photo loaded. Vincent. With a woman. Younger. Pretty. His arm around her waist. Both smiling at the camera. Below the photo he says he's leaving you soon. Just thought you should know. Kisha. Grace stopped walking. Right there on the sidewalk. People flowed around her like water around a rock. She stared at that photo. Vincent looked happy. Really happy. Happier than she'd seen him in years. Her phone rang. Vincent again. She answered. Grace, where are you? Come home. Let's talk about this. Are you leaving me? The question hung there. What? No. Who told you? Yes or no, Vincent? Are you leaving me for someone named Kisha? She heard him breathing. Heard the moment he realized he was caught. It's not. It's complicated. Yes or no? Yes. Barely a whisper. Yes. Grace hung up. Turned off her phone. Sat down on a bench. And laughed. She laughed until she cried. Cried until she couldn't breathe. People stared. Let them stare. Her husband was leaving her for another woman. She had a felony conviction. She owed $5,000. She was being evicted in 6 days. She had no job, no prospects, no hope. And she'd lost it all over a turkey she never even got to take home. Grace looked up at the gray November sky. You win, she said to no one. To everyone. To God if he was listening. You win. But somewhere inside her, deep down in a place that had been quiet for so long, something stirred. Not hope. Hope was too big a word. But something. Something that sounded like not yet. This isn't over yet. Grace stood up. Wiped her face. Started walking again. She didn't know where she was going. But she was moving forward. That had to count for something. Shanice's apartment smelled like curry chicken and home. Grace stood in the doorway. Couldn't make herself go inside. You gonna stand there all day or you gonna come in? Shanice held the door wider. Grace's feet finally moved. Inside, Marcus and Zara were on the couch. Watching cartoons. Normal. Like their mother hadn't spent the night in jail. Marcus looked up first. His eyes went straight to Grace's wrists. Red marks from the handcuffs. Mom. Zara jumped up. Ran over. Wrapped her arms around Grace's waist. Mommy, Auntie Shanice said you had to work late. Grace looked at Shanice over Zara's head. Mouthed thank you. That's right, baby, Grace said. Kissed the top of Zara's head. Had to work very late. Marcus wasn't buying it. He was 14. Too smart. Too aware. Can I talk to you? He stood up. Outside they went to the hallway. Marcus closed the door behind them. Where were you really? Grace's throat closed up. She couldn't lie to him. Not anymore. I got arrested. Marcus's face went pale. For what? I took something that wasn't mine. From the people I worked for. You stole something. The word hit like a slap. Stole. Her son looking at her like she was a stranger. I took food. A turkey. For us. We don't need you stealing for us. His voice cracked. I can quit school. Get a job. I can number. Grace grabbed his shoulders. You will not quit school. You will not throw away your future because of my mistakes. Then what are we supposed to do? We got 7 days before we're on the street. An apartment door opened. Someone peeked out. Saw them. Closed it again. Grace lowered her voice. I'll figure it out. How? I don't know yet. But I will. Marcus's eyes were wet. Dad called me. Said you won't answer his calls. Your father and I were done. Because of the gambling, because of a lot of things. Is he really leaving us? Marcus's voice got smaller. For someone else. Grace closed her eyes. How did he know then again? Marcus always knew. Yeah, he is. Her son's face crumpled. Then hardened. Good. We don't need him anyway. But his voice betrayed him. Still a kid. Still wanting his dad. Grace pulled him into a hug. He let her. For about 5 seconds. Then pulled away. Wiped his eyes fast. I gotta go back in. Zara's gonna ask questions. Tell her I had to work. That's all. Marcus nodded. Went inside. Grace stayed in the hallway. Counted to 50. Got herself together. Her phone buzzed. She'd turned it back on during the walk here. Text from Vincent, we need to talk. Face to face. Grace typed back, come to Shanice's. 1 hour. She went back inside. Shanice was in the kitchen. Stirring something on the stove. He's coming here, Grace said quietly. Vincent, yeah. You want me to kick his ass first or you want to do it? Grace almost smiled. Almost. I just want answers. Then he's gone. The kids, can they stay in the bedroom? Already handled. I told them we're having adult talk time. Marcus knows what's up. Zara thinks we're discussing boring grown-up stuff. Grace sat at the kitchen table. Put her head in her hands. How did I get here, Shanice? How did everything fall apart so fast? Shanice stopped stirring. Sat down across from her. It didn't fall apart fast. It's been falling apart for years. You just kept holding it together with duct tape and prayer. Well, I'm out of both now. No, you're not. You're still breathing. Still fighting. I got arrested for stealing a turkey. I lost my job. My husband's leaving me. We're being evicted. I have a felony conviction. What part of that is fighting? Shanice reached across the table. Took Grace's hand. The part where you're still here. Still showing up for your babies. Still trying. The buzzer rang. Vincent. Grace stood up. Send him up. 3 minutes later Vincent walked in. He looked terrible. Unshaven. Rumpled clothes. Guilty eyes. Grace not here. Grace looked at the bedroom door. Outside. They went to the stairwell. Cold concrete. Echoes. Vincent started talking immediately. Baby, I know you're upset. Upset. Grace's laugh was sharp. Upset is when you forget to pick up milk. This is way past upset. I made mistakes. I know that. But I can fix this with what money? Vincent, you gambled away every cent we had. I'm getting help. I'm going to meetings. You said that 6 months ago. And 6 months before that. Vincent ran his hands through his hair. This time is different. You're right. This time you're also sleeping with someone named Kisha. He froze. She sent you that picture. Yeah. She did. Looks like you're real happy with her. It's not serious, don't. Grace held up her hand. Don't insult me. Just tell me the truth. Are you leaving us? Silence. The longest silence of Grace's life. Yes. There it was. Out loud. Real. When after New Year's. She's got an apartment. I'm gonna move in with her. She know you're broke, that you got 2 kids, that you're a compulsive gambler who can't keep a dollar in his pocket. She knows. And she still wants you. She believes in me. Grace actually laughed. Well, someone should. Vincent's face hardened. You never believed in me. You always thought I wasn't good enough. I worked 3 jobs to keep us afloat while you pissed away our future. Don't talk to me about not believing in you. You always threw that in my face, always made me feel small. You made yourself small. I just stopped pretending you were big. They were yelling now. Shanice's door opened. She stuck her head out. Y'all need to lower your voices or take this outside. Outside. Grace took a breath. We're done here anyway. Grace, wait, number. You're done waiting. You're done promising. You're done breaking my heart. Just go. Go to Kisha. I hope she's everything you need. What about the kids? What about them? I want to see them. You see them when you pay child support. Until then you're a ghost. You can't keep my kids from me. Watch me. You chose her over them. Live with that choice. Grace turned to go. Vincent grabbed her arm. Don't walk away from me. She spun around. Yanked her arm free. Touch me again and I'll have you arrested. Don't think I won't. Something in her face made him step back. I'm not the same woman you married, Grace said quietly. That woman is dead. She died in a holding cell on Thanksgiving. What's left? You don't want to meet her. She went back inside. Slammed the door. Locked it. Vincent banged on it. Grace. Shanice picked up her phone. I'm calling the cops. The banging stopped. Footsteps receding down the stairs. Grace slid down the door. Sat on the floor. You okay? Shanice asked. No. But I will be. The bedroom door opened. Marcus came out. We heard yelling. Your father's gone. He won't be back. Marcus nodded. Didn't ask questions. Went back to the bedroom. Closed the door. Grace stayed on the floor. Shanice sat down beside her. Now what? Shanice asked. Now I figure out how to keep my kids off the street. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Grace answered. Hello Grace Thompson. Yeah, this is Patricia Chen. I'm a lawyer with the Workers' Rights Coalition. I heard about your case. The turkey. I'd like to help. Grace sat up straighter. Help how your former employer paid you under the table. Below minimum wage. No overtime. No benefits. That's wage theft. Federal crime. I want to sue them. I already pleaded guilty. Doesn't matter. Civil suit. Different court. You were exploited for 5 years. That's approximately $70,000 they owe you. Grace's heart started pounding. $70,000 give or take. I can't guarantee we'll win. But I think we have a strong case. Why would you help me? Because women like Eleanor Patterson have been getting away with this for too long. Someone needs to push back. What do I need to do? Meet me Monday. Bring every pay stub you have. Bank statements. Anything that shows what they paid you. I don't have pay stubs. It was cash. Even better. Did you ever text about money? Email. Grace thought. Yeah, a few times. Perfect. Bring your phone. We'll pull the records. And if we lose, you lose nothing. I work on contingency. I only get paid if you do. Why would you do that? Patricia's voice softened. My mother was a housekeeper. Jamaican. Just like you. She worked for a family in Connecticut for 12 years. They fired her when she got sick. No severance. No health care. Nothing. She died 6 months later. So yeah, I do this for women like you. Women like her. Grace's throat tightened. Okay. Monday. Where? Patricia gave her the address. They hung up. Shanice was staring at her. What was that? Maybe a way out. Grace called the kids out. They came slowly. Cautious. We need to talk, Grace said. They sat on the couch. Grace sat across from them. Things are going to be hard for a while. Really hard. We're losing the apartment. Your father's not helping anymore. I lost my job. Zara's eyes filled with tears. Where are we gonna live? I don't know yet. Maybe a shelter. Maybe we stay with Auntie Shanice for a bit. I don't want to live in a shelter. Zara started crying. Marcus put his arm around his sister. It's gonna be okay, Z. No, it's not. Nothing's okay. Grace moved to the couch. Pulled them both close. You're right. Nothing's okay right now. But it will be. I promise you. I'm going to fix this. How? Marcus asked. Not challenging. Just asking. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight the people who used me. I'm going to get us what we're owed. And we're going to survive this. Together. Zara was still crying. I'm scared, Mommy. I know, baby. Me too. But we're going to be brave together. Okay. Zara nodded against her chest. Grace held her children. Felt their hearts beating. Felt their fear. Their trust. She wouldn't let them down. Not again. That night Grace couldn't sleep. Shanice had given her the couch. The kids were in the bedroom. Shanice was in her daughter's old room. Grace stared at the ceiling. Thought about Monday. About the lawsuit. About $70,000. About what that kind of money could mean. Her phone lit up. Text from another unknown number. You ruined our Thanksgiving. I hope you rot in jail. Eleanor Patterson. Grace stared at the message. Then typed back. You ruined 5 years of my life. I hope karma finds you. She hit send. Blocked the number. Another text. Different number. This is Richard Patterson. Delete any photos or videos you have of our home or we'll sue you for invasion of privacy. Grace laughed out loud. Couldn't help it. She typed, sue me. I've got nothing left to take. Blocked that number too. Sleep wouldn't come. Grace got up. Went to the window. Looked out at the city. Somewhere out there Eleanor and Richard Patterson were in their 6-bedroom townhouse. Sleeping on $1,000 sheets. Not thinking about Grace at all. Somewhere out there Vincent was probably with Kisha. Making promises he wouldn't keep. Somewhere out there families were celebrating Thanksgiving leftovers. Full bellies. Warm homes. And here was Grace. Homeless in a week. Convicted felon. Broke. Abandoned. But not broken. Not yet. She thought about her mother back in Jamaica. What would she say if she could see Grace now? Probably something like, girl, you made your bed. Now lie in it. But also, Thompson women don't quit. We bend. We break. But we don't quit. Grace touched the window. Cold glass against her palm. I'm not quitting, Mama, she whispered. I'm just getting started. Monday couldn't come fast enough. But first she had to survive the weekend. Had to figure out what to tell the landlord. Had to pack their lives into whatever bags she could find. Had to explain to her children that home was now a concept, not a place. The weekend stretched ahead like a desert. Long. Hot. Impossible. Grace went back to the couch. Closed her eyes. Sleep finally came around 4 a.m. Restless. Full of dreams about turkeys and handcuffs and Eleanor Patterson's face. She woke to Zara coughing. That wet, rattling cough that meant her asthma was bad. Grace sat up. The apartment was still dark. 6 a.m. More coughing from the bedroom. Grace went in. Zara was sitting up, struggling to breathe. Baby, where's your inhaler? Zara pointed to her backpack. Grace dug through it. Found the inhaler. Empty. When did it run out? 2 days ago, Zara wheezed. Why didn't you tell me you had enough to worry about? Her 9-year-old daughter. Rationing breath. Because she didn't want to be a burden. Grace's heart shattered. Come on. We're going to the We don't have money for that. I don't care. You need to breathe. That's more important than money. Shanice drove them. The was packed. They waited 4 hours. By the time they saw a doctor, Zara was barely getting air. She needs a breathing treatment. Now. The doctor didn't wait for permission. Nurses rushed in. Grace stood outside the room. Watched through the glass as they put the mask on her daughter's face. The bill would be astronomical. Grace didn't care. Breathing came before everything. An hour later, Zara was stable. The doctor wrote prescriptions. 3 inhalers. Steroids. Antibiotics for the infection that had made everything worse. Fill these today, the doctor said. No delays. How much will it cost? The doctor checked her computer. With no insurance, about $400. Grace felt the number hit her chest. Okay. Thank you. They left the Went to the pharmacy. Grace gave them the prescriptions. It'll be 30 minutes, the pharmacist said. They waited. Zara fell asleep in a chair. Marcus played on his phone. Shanice got coffee. Grace sat there. Did math in her head. Math that didn't work. Her phone rang. The pharmacy number. Hello, Mrs. Thompson, your total is $437. Okay. I'll be right there. Grace hung up. Looked at her bank account. $73. She went to the counter. Is there a payment plan, or can I just get one inhaler for now? The pharmacist looked sympathetic. We don't do payment plans. But I can give you the rescue inhaler. That's $60. The rest you'll have to come back for. 1 inhaler. Not enough. But better than nothing. Okay. The rescue inhaler. Grace paid. Walked back to the waiting area with 1 small inhaler in a bag. Zara woke up. Did you get my medicine? Some of it. We'll get the rest soon. Zara didn't ask questions. Just nodded. They went back to Shanice's apartment. Grace's phone buzzed. Text from the landlord. Final reminder. Rent due Monday or eviction proceeds. Monday. The same day she was meeting the lawyer. Everything was happening Monday. Grace looked at her children. Marcus doing homework. Zara using her new inhaler. She thought about Eleanor Patterson's text. About rotting in jail. Then she thought about Patricia Chen. About $70,000. About justice. Monday couldn't come fast enough. But it also couldn't come slow enough. Because Monday would either save them or destroy them completely. And Grace had no idea which one it would be. Monday morning came too fast and too slow at the same time. Grace woke up on Shanice's couch at 5 a.m. Couldn't sleep anyway. Her mind kept spinning. The lawyer meeting was at 10. The landlord wanted his money by noon. She had $13 in her bank account after buying Zara's inhaler. The math didn't work. It never worked. She got up. Made coffee. Shanice stumbled out of her room around 6:30. You ready for today? Shanice asked. No. But I'm going anyway. That's my girl. Grace's phone buzzed. Text from Mr. Chen, the landlord. I'll be at the apartment at noon. Cash only. No excuses. Grace typed back, I'll be there. Lie. She wouldn't be there. Couldn't be there. Had nothing to give him. Another text came through. Vincent. Can I see the kids today, please? Grace deleted it without responding. Then another number. Eleanor Patterson. My lawyer says you're suing us. Big mistake. We'll bury you. Grace's hands shook. She typed back, you already tried that. Didn't work. She hit send before she could stop herself. 30 seconds later her phone rang. Eleanor. Grace answered. What? How dare you speak to me that way? Do you know who we are? Yeah. You're the people who exploited me for 5 years. I know exactly who you are. We gave you a job when no one else would. You paid me poverty wages and treated me like dirt. That's not giving. That's taking. Eleanor's voice went cold. Drop the lawsuit or I'll make sure every family in New York knows you're a thief. You'll never work again. I already can't work. I'm a convicted felon. Remember, you made sure of that. You did that to yourself. Number. I took a turkey because my daughter couldn't breathe and my son was starving. You called the cops because you wanted to punish me for being poor. We're not the same. Grace hung up. Her heart was racing. Adrenaline pumping. Shanice was staring at her. Girl. That was bold. I'm done being scared of them. Good. Now go meet that lawyer and take everything they got. Grace showered. Put on her best clothes. A dress she'd worn to church back when she still went to church. Back when she still believed in things like answered prayers. The kids were still asleep. Grace kissed their foreheads. Marcus stirred. Mom, I'm going to a meeting. I'll be back soon. The lawyer thing, yeah. You nervous, terrified. Marcus sat up. You got this. You're the strongest person I know. Grace's throat tightened. Thanks, baby. She left before she started crying. The subway was packed. Grace stood crushed between strangers. Everyone on their phones. Living their lives. Not knowing hers was falling apart. Patricia Chen's office was in Lower Manhattan. 10th floor. Glass doors. Professional. Grace felt out of place immediately. The receptionist smiled. Grace Thompson, yes. Patricia's ready for you. Right this way. Patricia Chen was younger than Grace expected. Maybe 35. Sharp suit. Kind eyes. Grace. Thank you for coming. Patricia shook her hand. Sit. Please. Grace sat. Tried not to fidget. So I've reviewed your case. The criminal one. And I've done some digging on the Pattersons. They have a history. A history of what? Exploiting domestic workers. You're the third person to come forward in 5 years. The other 2 settled quietly. Signed NDAs. But I think we can do better. How much better? Patricia pulled out a calculator. You worked for them 5 years. 52 weeks a year. 6 days a week. 12 hours a day. They paid you $600 a week. Cash. Right. New York minimum wage during that time averaged about $14 an hour. You should have been making approximately $1,000 a week. Plus overtime. Plus benefits. Patricia did the math. Showed Grace the number. Conservatively, they owe you $83,000. Grace stared at the number. Couldn't process it. That's not possible. It's not only possible. It's provable. If we can get bank records showing consistent cash deposits. If we can get testimony from other workers. If we can show a pattern. And if we can't, then we get nothing. But Grace, here's the thing. They don't want this public. They don't want other workers coming forward. They'll likely settle. For how much? My guess $40,000 to $50,000. Plus they drop the criminal charges. Grace's heart stopped. They can do that. They're the victims in the criminal case. If they decline to cooperate with the prosecution, the DA will likely drop it. Happens all the time. $40,000. No criminal record. A chance to start over. What do I have to do? Sign this. Patricia pushed papers across the desk. It's a retainer agreement. I work on contingency. If we win, I take 30%. If we lose, you owe me nothing. Grace read through it. Legal language. Dense. But clear enough. She signed. Good. Patricia smiled. Now. Tell me everything. And I mean everything. Every racist comment. Every labor violation. Every time they made you feel less than human. I need ammunition. Grace talked for an hour. Told her about Brittany's comments. About Eleanor stepping over her while she scrubbed floors. About working through the flu because she had no sick days. About the time Richard Patterson made her work through Christmas even though they'd promised her the day off. Patricia took notes. Asked questions. Got angrier with each story. These people are monsters, Patricia said finally. They're just rich. Rich people don't see us. Well, they're about to see you. Trust me. Grace left the office at 11:30. Her phone immediately started buzzing. Mr. Chen. The landlord. Where are you? It's almost noon. Grace answered. I'm on my way. Another lie. She got on the subway. But instead of going to Queens, she went to Brooklyn. To an address she'd found in Vincent's phone months ago. Kisha's address. Grace didn't know what she was doing. Only that she needed answers. Needed to look this woman in the eye. The building was nicer than Grace expected. Doorman. Elevator. Grace walked past the doorman like she belonged there. Took the elevator to the 4th floor. Apartment 4C. Grace knocked. Footsteps. The door opened. Kisha was beautiful. 20-something. Curves. Confident smile that died when she saw Grace. Can I help you? I'm Vincent's wife. Kisha's face went pale. He said you were separated. We weren't. Not until he told me he was leaving. 3 days ago. Look, I don't want drama. Too late. You're sleeping with a married man. That's drama by definition. Vincent appeared behind Kisha. Shirtless. Clearly just woke up. His face went white. Grace. What are you doing here? Wanted to meet her. See what's worth throwing away 15 years and 2 kids for. Kisha looked at Vincent. You said you didn't have kids. Vincent's mouth opened. Nothing came out. Grace actually laughed. He didn't tell you Marcus is 14. Zara's 9. They're beautiful. Smart. And they ask about their daddy every single day. You told me you had no kids. Kisha stepped away from Vincent. You said your wife was crazy and you needed to get away from her. Baby, let me explain. Don't a baby me. Kisha was yelling now. You lied about everything I was going to tell you when after you moved in after I paid your rent. Grace's ears perked up. You're paying his rent? Kisha turned to her. He said he lost his job. That he just needed help getting back on his feet. He has a job. Construction. Makes decent money. He just gambles it all away. He told me he doesn't gamble anymore. That he's sober from all that. Grace pulled out her phone. Showed Kisha Vincent's bank records. Casino withdrawals. Online betting. Horse racing apps. Last one was 2 days ago. $1,500. Kisha stared at the screen. Then at Vincent. Get out. Baby, please get out. Vincent grabbed his shirt. His shoes. Pushed past Grace into the hallway. Grace and Kisha stood there. 2 women. Both lied to. Both used. I'm sorry, Kisha said quietly. I didn't know. I know you didn't. Are your kids okay? Number. But they will be. Grace turned to leave. Stopped. He's a good liar. The best I've ever met. Don't blame yourself. How do you survive it being married to someone like that? You don't survive it. You escape it. I'm just slow learner. Grace left. Vincent was waiting in the hallway. Happy now. His voice was bitter. You ruined everything. I didn't ruin anything. You did. Years ago. I loved her. You loved what she could give you. Money. A place to hide. She was never real to you. Just like I was never real to you. Just like our kids are never real to you. That's not fair. Fair. Grace stepped closer. You want to talk about fair? I'll tell you what's fair. Fair is you signing over full custody. Fair is you disappearing. Fair is you leaving us alone. I'm not signing over my kids then start acting like their father. Pay child support. Show up. Be present. But we both know you won't. Because that requires sacrifice. And you've never sacrificed anything for anyone but yourself. Grace walked away. Got in the elevator. The doors closed on Vincent's face. Her phone rang immediately. The landlord. It's 12:15. Where are you? I'm not coming. Then you're evicted. I'm changing the locks today. Do what you have to do. Grace hung up. Felt surprisingly calm. Everything was gone now. Job. Apartment. Husband. Dignity. All she had left were her kids and a lawsuit that might not pay out for months. But somehow standing in that elevator, Grace felt lighter than she had in years. The lying was over. The pretending was over. The weight of keeping everything together with string and hope was over. She was free falling. But at least she was free. Her phone buzzed. Shanice. Where are you? The landlord just called me looking for you. I'm in Brooklyn. Long story. I'll be home soon. Grace, he's serious. He's changing the locks. I know. What are we gonna do? I don't know. Can we stay with you a few more days? Silence. Then Grace. My landlord said no. He said I can't have 4 people in a 1-bedroom. He threatened to evict me too. The elevator reached the ground floor. Doors opened. Grace stepped out into the lobby. Into the cold December air outside. Okay. I'll figure something out. I'm so sorry, it's not your fault. I'll call you later. Grace hung up. Stood on the sidewalk. People rushed past. Holiday shoppers. Christmas was 3 weeks away. Grace had nowhere to sleep tonight. No money. No job. No plan. Her phone rang again. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. But something made her. Hello, Grace Thompson. Yeah. This is Jennifer Wu. I'm a case manager with Family Services. I need to speak with you about your children. Grace's blood went cold. What about them? We received a report that they're living in unstable housing. That you were recently arrested. That you're unable to provide adequate care. Who reported that? I can't disclose that information. But I need to meet with you. Today. To assess the situation. Are you trying to take my kids? I'm trying to help your family. But I need to see where they're living. Verify they have food, medical care, stability. They have all of that. Then you have nothing to worry about. Can you meet me at 3 p.m.? Grace looked at her watch. 1:15. Where? Jennifer gave her an address. Child Services Office. Grace hung up. Her hands were shaking so badly she almost dropped the phone. Someone had called CPS on her. Someone wanted her kids taken away. She knew exactly who. Grace pulled up her recent calls. Found Eleanor Patterson's number. Dialed it. Eleanor answered on the second ring. I told you we'd bury you. You called Child Services on me. I reported what I saw. A criminal. An unfit mother. Children at risk. My children are fine, they're homeless. You're jobless. You're a felon. That's the definition of unfit. You did this because I'm suing you. I did this because it's the truth. Those children deserve better than you. Grace's vision went red. You don't know anything about my children. About what I've sacrificed for them. About what I've survived to keep them safe. Then prove it. In court. To the judge. Good luck with that. Eleanor hung up. Grace stood there. Phone in hand. Entire body shaking. This was war now. Not just about money. About her children. About her right to exist as a mother. She called Patricia Chen. Grace, what's wrong? They called CPS on me. The Pattersons. They're trying to take my kids. When did this happen? Just now. I have a meeting at 3. Don't go alone. I'm coming with you. Can you do that? I'm your lawyer. I go where you need me. Text me the address. Grace sent it. Felt marginally less terrified. She had 2 hours. She went to Shanice's apartment. The kids were home. Marcus doing homework. Zara watching TV. Grace sat them down. We need to talk. They looked at her. Worried. They always looked worried now. Someone called Child Services. Said we're not doing okay. That you might not be safe with me. Zara's eyes went huge. Are they gonna take us away? Not if I can help it. But they're going to ask you questions. About where we're living. What you eat. If I take care of you. What do we say? Marcus asked. The truth. That we're staying with Auntie Shanice temporarily. That you have food. That you're safe. That I love you and I'm doing everything I can. What if they don't believe us? Zara's voice was small. Grace pulled her close. Then we fight. Together. But it won't come to that. Okay, Zara nodded. Didn't look convinced. At 2:30 Grace and Patricia met outside the Child Services office. Whatever happens in there, Patricia said, stay calm. Answer honestly. Don't get defensive. They're looking for reasons to remove the kids. Don't give them any. I'm terrified. I know. But you're also a good mother. Let them see that. They went inside. Jennifer Wu was waiting. 40-something. Kind face. Professional demeanor. Grace. Thank you for coming. She looked at Patricia. And you are Patricia Chen. Mrs. Thompson's attorney. Jennifer's eyebrows raised slightly. This is just an informal assessment. With all due respect, nothing involving Child Protective Services is informal. I'm here to ensure my client's rights are protected. Jennifer nodded. Fair enough. Let's talk in my office. They sat. Jennifer opened a file. Grace, I need to ask you some questions. About your current living situation. Okay. Where are you and your children residing? With a friend. Temporarily. How long is temporary? I don't know yet. I'm working on getting us a new place. And income, how are you supporting your children? Grace hesitated. Patricia jumped in. My client is currently between jobs due to unlawful termination. We're pursuing legal remedies for wage theft and wrongful termination. She's actively seeking employment. Jennifer wrote notes. The report says you were recently arrested for theft. I pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor. I'm on probation. What did you steal? Grace met her eyes. Food. A turkey. From my former employer. To feed my children. Jennifer's pen stopped moving. To feed your children, yes. And you felt that was your only option at the time, yes. Why didn't you seek assistance? Food banks, government programs. I tried. We made $50 too much to qualify for most programs. Food banks were empty by the time I got there. I worked 12 hours a day. There wasn't time. Jennifer leaned back. Tell me about your children. How are they doing in school? Marcus is on her roll. Zara is struggling a bit because she missed some days when she was sick. But they're good kids. Smart. Kind. And their father. Grace's jaw tightened. Not in the picture. By choice. His choice. He left us. Does he pay child support number? Have you filed for it? Not yet. But I will. Jennifer made more notes. The silence stretched out. Finally she looked up. Grace, I'm going to be honest with you. Your situation is concerning. Unstable housing. No income. Recent criminal conviction. Absent father. These are risk factors. Grace's heart was pounding. But my kids are okay. They're fed. They're safe. They're loved. I believe you love them. But love doesn't pay rent. Love doesn't put food on the table. I need to know they have stability. I'm working on it. Working on it isn't enough. I need concrete plans. Where will you live in 2 weeks? How will you pay for it? How will you feed them? Patricia spoke up. Mrs. Thompson has a pending lawsuit that will likely settle within 30 days. The settlement will provide financial stability. In the meantime, she has community support. Character witnesses. A track record of putting her children first despite tremendous obstacles. Jennifer looked unconvinced. A pending lawsuit isn't guaranteed income. Neither is any job. But it's a plan. It's hope. It's more than many families have. Jennifer closed her file. I'm going to speak with the children. Separately. Is that okay? Grace wanted to say no. Wanted to grab her kids and run. Instead she said yes. That's fine. Jennifer left to get Marcus and Zara from the waiting room. Grace looked at Patricia. This is bad, isn't it? It's not good. But it's not over. Just breathe. Marcus came in first. Jennifer asked him questions. Grace and Patricia had to wait outside. 15 minutes felt like 15 hours. Marcus came out. Wouldn't meet Grace's eyes. Then Zara went in. Grace paced the hallway. Patricia tried to calm her. It didn't work. Finally Zara came out. She'd been crying. Grace pulled her close. What's wrong, baby? I don't want to leave you, mommy. You're not going to. I promise. But she didn't know if that was true. Jennifer called them back in. I've spoken with both children. They clearly love you. They feel safe with you. But they're also scared. Zara is particularly worried about being homeless. We're not homeless. We have a place to stay for how long. Your friend can't keep you indefinitely. You need a permanent solution. I'm working on it. You keep saying that. But I need specifics. Today. Right now. Or I have to recommend temporary foster placement while you stabilize. The words hit like a punch. Foster placement. Her babies. Taken away. No. Grace's voice shook. No, you can't do that. I don't want to. But my job is to ensure children's safety. And right now I'm not convinced they're in a stable environment. Patricia stood up. Give her 1 week. 7 days. If she doesn't have stable housing by then, we'll revisit. But taking children from a loving mother because she's poor, that's not protecting them. That's punishing poverty. Jennifer looked at Patricia. Then at Grace. 1 week. 7 days from today. If you don't have stable housing and a plan for income, I'm filing for emergency custody. Understood. Grace nodded. Couldn't speak. They left the office. Grace's legs barely held her. On the sidewalk she finally broke down. I can't lose them. I can't. They're all I have. Patricia gripped her shoulders. You won't. We have 7 days. We'll figure this out. How? I have no money. No job. Nowhere to go. We push the Patterson settlement. Hard. Tell them we need an emergency payment. Even partial. Enough for first month's rent and deposit. Will they go for it? They will if they think you're about to go public with your story. Rich people hate bad press more than they hate losing money. Grace wiped her eyes. Okay. Do it. I'll call their lawyer tonight. Put pressure on. Meanwhile, you need to find an apartment. Something cheap. I'll help you. They spent the next 3 hours looking at apartments online. Everything was too expensive or in terrible neighborhoods or required credit checks Grace wouldn't pass. Finally, they found one. Studio in the Bronx. $1,200 a month. Landlord would take cash. No credit check. It was small. Rough area. But it was a roof. I'll call him, Patricia said. See if he'll hold it with a deposit. She called. Negotiated. Came back with news. He wants $500 to hold it. Non-refundable. And you have to move in by next Monday. Monday. 7 days. Grace had $13. I don't have $500. Patricia pulled out her wallet. Counted bills. I have $300. That's all the cash I have on me. I can't take your money. Yes, you can. Consider it a loan. You'll pay me back from the settlement. What if there's no settlement? Then I eat the loss. But there will be. Trust me. Patricia called the landlord back. Put down $300. Promised the rest by Wednesday. Grace had an apartment. Maybe. If she could come up with $200 in 2 days. And $1,200 more by Monday. It was impossible. But impossible was all she had left. They said goodbye. Patricia promised to push the Pattersons hard. Grace went back to Shanice's. The kids were waiting. What happened? Marcus asked. We have 7 days to find a place. Or they take you. Zara started crying again. Marcus put his arm around her. We'll find something, he said. We have to. Grace's phone rang. Number she didn't recognize. She answered. Hello, Grace Thompson. Yes. This is Carol from St. Mary's Church. Pastor Williams gave me your number. I heard you need help. Grace's throat closed up. I do. We have an emergency assistance fund. It's not much. But we can give you $500. One time. No strings. $500. The exact amount she needed. Are you serious? Completely. Can you come by tomorrow to pick it up? Yes. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Grace hung up. Looked at the ceiling. Maybe God was listening after all. Or maybe this was just luck. Random chance. The universe throwing her a bone. Either way, she'd take it. She had an apartment. Maybe. 7 days to make it real. 7 days to save her family. The war wasn't over. But she'd won a battle. That was something. That had to be enough. Tuesday morning, Grace stood outside St. Mary's Church. The same church where Pastor Williams had told her to tithe more and pray harder. The same church that had offered prayers instead of help. Now they had money for her. $500. Exactly what she needed. Grace didn't trust it. Good things didn't just happen anymore. She walked inside. The secretary smiled at her. Grace Thompson. Yes. Carol's expecting you. Second office on the left. Carol was older. 60-something. Warm smile. She stood when Grace entered. Grace. Thank you for coming. Sit please. Grace sat. Hands folded in her lap. Waiting for the catch. I heard about your situation, Carol said. The eviction. Your children. Pastor Williams mentioned you came by a few weeks ago. He told me to tithe more. Carol's face tightened. Yes. I heard about that too. That's why I wanted to help. That response was inadequate. So you're giving me money, $500. From our emergency assistance fund. Carol pulled out an envelope. There's just one thing. There it was. The catch. What's that? You need to attend a financial counseling session. Free. 1 hour. Just to help you manage things going forward. Grace blinked. That's it, that's it. No church attendance requirement, no Bible study, no strings, no strings. Just the counseling. It's actually helpful. I promise. Carol handed her the envelope. Grace opened it. 10 $50 bills. This is real, it's real. Grace's hands shook. Thank you. You have no idea what this means. I think I do. My sister went through something similar. I watched her lose everything because our church told her to pray instead of helping her pay rent. I vowed I'd never let that happen to someone else if I had the power to stop it. Grace stood. Hugged this woman she barely knew. Carol hugged her back. You're going to be okay, Carol whispered. You're stronger than you know. Grace left with the money. Walked 3 blocks before she let herself cry. Happy tears this time. Relief tears. She called Patricia immediately. I have the 500. I can pay the deposit. Perfect. I'll call the landlord. Get the paperwork started. What about the rent? The 1200 for Monday. I'm working on it. The Pattersons' lawyer called me back this morning. Grace's heart jumped. And they want to meet. Tomorrow. To discuss settlement terms. That's good, right? It's something. Could be good. Could be a trap. We'll see. What do they want? They didn't say. Just that Mr. Patterson wants to speak with you directly. Why, I don't know. But I'll be there with you. Don't worry. Grace hung up. Felt cautiously hopeful for the first time in weeks. Her phone rang immediately. Shanice. Grace, we have a problem. The hope died. What kind of problem? My landlord saw 4 people leaving my apartment this morning. He knows you're staying here. He's threatening eviction if you're not gone by Friday. Friday, that's 3 days, I know. I'm sorry. I tried to talk to him but he won't budge. He said I violated my lease. Grace leaned against a building. Suddenly dizzy. Okay, it's fine. We'll figure it out. Where will you go? I don't know yet. But we will. Don't worry about us. Grace hung up. Stared at her phone. Friday. She had to be out by Friday. But the apartment wasn't ready until Monday. 4 days. She needed somewhere to stay for 4 days. She called Patricia back. Can I move into the Bronx apartment early like this Friday instead of Monday? I can ask. But the landlord said it needs cleaning first. Some repairs. That's why he said Monday. Can I clean it? Do the repairs myself. I'll do anything. Let me call him. Grace waited. Watched people walk by. Normal people. With normal problems. Jobs. Homes. Lives that made sense. Patricia called back 5 minutes later. He said no. The place needs professional work. Plumbing issues. He can't have anyone living there until it's fixed. So what do I do for 4 days shelter? The word hit hard. Grace had been avoiding that reality. With my kids it's temporary. Just until Monday. Do you know what shelters are like? The intake process, the questions, the way they look at you, I know. But it's 4 days. You can survive 4 days. Could Marcus and Zara let me think about it? Grace hung up. Called the one person she hadn't wanted to call. Her sister in Jamaica. Marcy. They hadn't spoken in 2 years. Not since Marcy told Grace she was stupid for staying with Vincent. The phone rang 4 times. Then Grace, hey Marcy. It's been 2 years and now you call, I need help. Silence. Then what kind of help? Money. A loan. I'll pay you back. I just need how much? 1200. For rent. I have a settlement coming. I'll pay you back with interest. Grace, I don't have $1200. I'm barely keeping the roof over my own head. Can you ask anyone at all? Who? Mama's been dead 3 years. Papa's got nothing. Our cousins are worse off than us. There's no one. Grace's chest felt tight. Okay. I understand. Grace, what's going on? Why are you asking me for money? Vincent left. I lost my job. We're being evicted. Jesus Christ. I told you to leave him years ago. I know. I told you he was no good. I know, Marcy. So what are you gonna do? I don't know yet. Come home. Come back to Jamaica. You and the kids. Grace almost laughed. With what money? I can't even afford rent. How am I supposed to afford 3 plane tickets? Then what? You gonna live on the street? I'm figuring it out. You've been figuring it out for 15 years. Look where it got you. Grace hung up. Didn't have the energy to fight. Her phone rang again. Unknown number. Hello, is this Grace Thompson? Yes. This is Detective Martinez with NYPD. I need to ask you some questions about Vincent Thompson. Grace's blood went cold. What about him? When's the last time you saw him? Monday. Why? Where did you see him? At his girlfriend's apartment in Brooklyn. What's going on? What was his state of mind? Upset. Angry. His girlfriend kicked him out. Detective, what happened? Mr. Thompson was brought to Mercy Hospital last night. Overdose. He's in critical condition. The world tilted. Grace sat down hard on the sidewalk. Overdose on what? Pills? Alcohol? Looks like suicide attempt. Is he going to live? We don't know yet. He's in ICU. Are you his next of kin? I'm his wife. Separated. But yes. The hospital needs someone to make medical decisions if he can't. Can you come down? I don't know. Ma'am, he listed you as emergency contact. You're all he has. Grace wanted to say no. Wanted to hang up. Let Vincent deal with his own mess. But 15 years of marriage doesn't disappear overnight. Which hospital? Mercy. Brooklyn. ICU floor. Grace hung up. Called Shanice. Can you watch the kids? Vincent's in the hospital. What happened? Suicide attempt. I need to go. Grace, you don't owe him anything, I know. But I need to see him. Why? Good question. Grace didn't have a good answer. I just do. She took the subway to Brooklyn. Mercy Hospital. ICU. The nurse at the desk looked exhausted. I'm here to see Vincent Thompson. Are you family? I'm his wife. The nurse checked her computer. He's in room 412. But he's not conscious. Can I see him anyway? 5 minutes. That's all. Grace walked down the hallway. Sterile. Fluorescent. The smell of disinfectant and despair. Room 412. She pushed open the door. Vincent lay there. Tubes everywhere. Machines beeping. His face was gray. Sunken. Grace stood at the foot of the bed. Felt nothing. Then everything. Then nothing again. A doctor came in. Young. Tired. Are you Mrs. Thompson? Yes. I'm Dr. Patel. Your husband ingested approximately 40 sleeping pills mixed with alcohol. His liver is failing. We're doing everything we can, but the next 24 hours are critical. Will he live? I don't know. Maybe. But even if he does, there may be permanent damage. Grace nodded. Processing. Did he leave a note? The police found this. Dr. Patel handed her a folded piece of paper. Grace opened it. Vincent's handwriting. Shaky. I'm sorry. I ruined everything. The kids are better off without me. Grace, I'm sorry. I loved you. I just forgot how. Grace folded it back up. Put it in her pocket. What happens now? We wait. If he stabilizes, we'll move him to a regular room. If not. Dr. Patel didn't finish. If not, he dies. Yes. Grace looked at Vincent. This man she'd crossed an ocean for. This man who'd given her 2 beautiful children. This man who'd destroyed everything. I need to make a call. She stepped into the hallway. Called Marcus. Mom, where are you? Hospital. Your dad's here. What happened? Grace didn't want to lie. But she didn't want to traumatize him either. He got sick. Really sick. He might not make it. Silence. Then, do you want us to come? Did she? Should they see their father like this? Not yet. Let me see what happens. I'll call you. Is he gonna die? I don't know, baby. Would that be bad? The question broke her heart. It would be sad. He's still your father. He hasn't been a father in a long time. Marcus hung up. Grace went back to Vincent's room. Sat in the chair beside his bed. A nurse came in to check vitals. Adjusted something. Left without speaking. Grace stared at Vincent's face. Tried to remember when she'd loved him. Really loved him. Their wedding day. He'd looked so handsome. So full of promise. The day Marcus was born. Vincent had cried. Held their son like he was made of glass. Zara's first steps. Vincent had been there. Sober. Present. Proud. Those moments felt like they'd happened to different people. In a different life. Her phone buzzed. Patricia. Where are you? The Patterson meeting is in an hour. Grace had completely forgotten. I'm at a hospital. Vincent tried to kill himself. Oh my God. Is he okay? I don't know. But I need to be here. Grace, this meeting is crucial. They might settle today. We can't reschedule. I can't leave him. Why not? He left you. Multiple times. Grace didn't have an answer for that. Can you handle it without me? It's your case. They want to talk to you directly. That's non-negotiable. Grace looked at Vincent. Machines breathing for him. Keeping him alive. I'll be there. Give me 30 minutes. She stood up. Touched Vincent's hand. It was cold. You're a coward, she whispered. You ran from everything your whole life. Even from dying you're running. Making someone else deal with it. His hand didn't move. Didn't respond. But I'm not running anymore. I'm fighting. For our kids. For myself. And you're not going to drag me down with you. Grace left the room. Left the hospital. Got on the subway. The Pattersons' lawyer's office was in Midtown. Fancy building. Marble lobby. Patricia was waiting outside. You okay? Number. But I'm here. That's what matters. Remember, stay calm. Don't get emotional. Let me do most of the talking. They went up to the 15th floor. Conference room. Floor to ceiling windows. View of the city. Richard Patterson sat at the head of the table. His lawyer beside him. Eleanor wasn't there. Mrs. Thompson, Richard said. Not friendly. Not hostile. Just flat. Mr. Patterson. They all sat. Patricia pulled out files. Richard's lawyer did the same. Let's get to it, Richard's lawyer said. My client is prepared to offer a settlement of $20,000. In exchange, you drop the lawsuit. Sign an NDA. And never contact the Patterson family again. $20,000. Half of what Patricia estimated. Patricia didn't blink. That's insulting. Your client owes my client over $80,000 in wage theft alone. We're not even discussing emotional damages. Pain and suffering. Defamation. Your client stole from us. She's a convicted felon. A jury will never side with her. Your client exploited an immigrant woman for 5 years. Paid her poverty wages. Then had her arrested when she took food to feed her starving children. The media would love this story. Richard leaned forward. Is that a threat? It's reality. We can do this in court. Public trial. Every news outlet in New York covering it. Or we can settle quietly. Your choice. Richard looked at Grace. Really looked at her for the first time. Why did you take the turkey, Grace? The question surprised her. I told you. My children were hungry. We paid you $600 a week. That's not poverty. Grace felt anger rising. Pushed it down. $600 for 72 hours of work. No overtime. No benefits. You do the math, Mr. Patterson. After rent, utilities, food, medical expenses, there was nothing left. And my husband gambled away what little we had. So this is about your husband's gambling problem. This is about you paying me $3 an hour to clean your toilets while you threw away more food than my family ate in a month. Richard's jaw tightened. I'm prepared to go to $30,000. Final offer. Patricia shook her head. 60. And you drop the criminal charges. The charges are settled. She pleaded guilty. Appeals exist. You know that. 60,000. Full dismissal. Or we go to trial. Richard's lawyer whispered something to him. Richard shook his head. 40. That's as high as I go. Patricia looked at Grace, silently asking, what do you want to do? $40,000. Enough for rent, food, stability, a future. But it was still half of what they owed her. Grace thought about Vincent in that hospital bed. Running from everything. Taking the easy way out. She wasn't Vincent. No, Grace said. Everyone looked at her. No, Richard repeated. 60,000 or we go to trial. I'm done accepting less than I'm worth. Richard's face reddened. You're making a mistake. Maybe. But it's my mistake to make. He stood up. Fine. Trial it is. I'll bury you. You already tried that. I'm still here. Richard and his lawyer left. Slammed the door. Patricia stared at Grace. That was either the bravest thing I've ever seen or the stupidest. Which one do you think? Both. Definitely both. Grace's phone rang. The hospital. Mrs. Thompson, your husband is awake. He's asking for you. Grace closed her eyes. Of course he was. I'll be there soon. She hung up. Looked at Patricia. What did I just do? You stood up for yourself. For the first time maybe ever. What if they don't settle? What if we lose? Then we lose. But at least you'll know you fought. Grace left the building. Got back on the subway. Back to the hospital. Vincent was awake. Weak. But alive. She walked into his room. He turned his head. Grace. Don't. Just. Don't. I'm sorry. You've been saying that for 10 years. It doesn't mean anything anymore. I wanted to die. I know. But I couldn't even do that right. Grace sat down. Exhausted beyond measure. The doctor says you'll live. Your liver's damaged but it'll heal. That's good. I don't know. Is it? Vincent's eyes filled with tears. I don't know either. They sat in silence. The machines beeped. Time passed. Finally Grace stood. I can't do this anymore. I can't save you. I can't fix you. I can barely save myself. I know. The kids are better off without you. I'm better off without you. So when you get out of here, go. Disappear. Start over somewhere else. But leave us alone. Grace, I mean it. You're not their father anymore. You're a ghost. And ghosts don't get to haunt the living. She walked out. Didn't look back. On the subway home, Grace's phone buzzed. Text from Patricia. Patterson's lawyer just called. They'll do 50. Take it or leave it. $50,000. 10,000 more than before. Her standing up had worked. Grace typed back, take it. 3 dots appeared. Then done. I'll send the paperwork tomorrow. Grace leaned back in her seat. Closed her eyes. $50,000. After Patricia's cut she'd have $35,000. Enough for rent, security deposits, food, medicine. Time to find a real job. Enough to start over. She got off at Shanice's stop. Walked the 3 blocks. The kids were waiting. Jumped up when she walked in. Is Dad okay? Zara asked. He's alive. He's going to be fine. Can we see him? Grace knelt down. Looked her daughter in the eye. Not right now. He needs to get better first. But he wanted me to tell you he loves you. Lie. Vincent hadn't said that. But kids needed to hear it anyway. Marcus wasn't buying it. He tried to kill himself, didn't he? Grace looked at her son. No point lying to him. Yes. Because of us, no baby. Because of him. Because of choices he made. This is not your fault. Do you understand me? Not your fault. Marcus nodded. Didn't look convinced. That night Grace lay on Shanice's couch. Stared at the ceiling. In 3 days they'd be in a shelter. In 7 days they'd have their own place. In 2 weeks she'd have $35,000. Everything was falling into place. Finally. So why did she still feel like she was drowning? Her phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. She opened it. A photo loaded. Grace. From today. Outside the hospital. Someone had taken her picture without her knowing. Below it, drop the lawsuit or everyone sees the kind of mother you really are. One who abandons her dying husband. Grace stared at the message. Felt ice in her veins. Eleanor Patterson wasn't done fighting. Neither was Grace. She screenshot the text. Sent it to Patricia with one-word evidence. Then she turned off her phone. Closed her eyes. Let them come. Let them all come. She'd survived everything else. She'd survive this too. Because Thompson women don't quit. They bend. They break. But they don't quit. Wednesday morning Grace woke up to 23 missed calls. All from Eleanor Patterson's number. She didn't listen to the voicemails. Didn't need to. She knew what they'd say. Threats. Promises to destroy her. The usual. Patricia called at 7 a.m. Did you see what she posted? Grace's stomach dropped. Posted where? Facebook. Instagram. Twitter. She's telling everyone you abandoned your suicidal husband to extort money from innocent people. She's lying, I know. But it's out there. And people are believing her. Grace pulled up Facebook on her phone. Found Eleanor's post. It had been shared 800 times already. This woman worked in our home for 5 years. We treated her like family. Then she stole from us. Now she's trying to destroy us with false accusations while her husband fights for his life in the hospital. Please pray for Vincent Thompson and for justice. The comments were brutal. What kind of mother abandons her dying husband? She's just looking for a payday. Typical. Always playing the victim. Grace's hands shook. She scrolled through hundreds of comments. Strangers hating her. Judging her. Not knowing anything. What do we do? Grace asked Patricia. We fight back. Post your side. The truth. Nobody will believe me. Some will. Enough will. And more importantly, we document everything. Every post. Every threat. It strengthens our case. Grace hung up. Stared at her phone. Should she respond, defend herself? Her phone rang. The hospital again. Mrs. Thompson, your husband is being discharged today. He needs someone to pick him up. Call someone else. There is no one else. You're listed as his emergency contact. I can't help him anymore. Ma'am, if no one picks him up, he'll be released to the street. He can barely walk. Grace closed her eyes. This was not her problem. Not anymore. I'm sorry. I can't. She hung up. Felt terrible. Then felt angry for feeling terrible. Vincent had made his choices. She didn't owe him rescue. Shanice came out of her bedroom. You okay? Eleanor posted about me online. Says I'm a liar and a gold digger. Want me to go over there and beat her ass? Grace almost smiled. No. But thanks. So what now? Now we pack. We have to be at the shelter by 4. The shelter. Grace had been avoiding thinking about it. But it was happening. Today. She told the kids at breakfast. Marcus took it quietly. Zara cried. I don't want to go to a shelter, Mommy. I know, baby. But it's only for 4 days. Then we have our own place. What if they're mean there? They won't be. It's a safe place. I promise. Lie. Grace had no idea if it was safe. But what else could she say? They packed their things into trash bags. Everything they owned fit in 4 bags. 15 years in America reduced to garbage bags. Shanice hugged them all goodbye. You call me every day. You hear me? I will. And Grace, you're gonna make it. I know you will. Grace wanted to believe her. They took the subway to the Bronx. The shelter was in a converted warehouse. Industrial. Cold. The intake worker was exhausted. Probably saw 50 families a day just like Grace's. Names: Grace Thompson, Marcus Thompson, Zara Thompson. Reason for needing shelter: eviction. Employment status: unemployed. Income: none currently. The worker typed without looking up. Room 314. 3rd floor. Dinners at 6. Breakfast at 7. Lights out at 10. No visitors. No alcohol. No drugs. Break the rules, you're out. Understood? Yes. They got a key. Went upstairs. Room 314 was tiny. 2 bunk beds. 1 window. Shared bathroom down the hall. Zara sat on the bottom bunk and started crying again. Marcus put his arm around her. It's okay, Z. We've had worse. Had they? Grace couldn't remember worse than this. She unpacked their bags. Tried to make it feel like home. It didn't work. That night at dinner they sat in a cafeteria with 50 other families. All of them struggling. All of them exhausted. A woman sat across from Grace. Older. Kind eyes. First time here? Yeah. Gets easier. You learn the rhythm. Find your people. Survive. How long have you been here? 6 months. 6 months. Grace felt sick. What happened? Husband died. Cancer. Medical bills took everything. Lost the apartment. Been here ever since. I'm sorry. Don't be. I'm alive. My kids are fed. That's more than some can say. After dinner Grace called Patricia. I'm at the shelter. It's hard. I know. But listen. The settlement papers came through. Patterson signed. $50,000. You'll have the money by Monday. Monday. The same day they moved into the apartment. That's good news. It's great news. Hang in there. 4 more days. Grace hung up. Looked around the cafeteria. All these people. All these stories. All this pain. She wasn't special. Wasn't unique. Just another person trying to survive. That night she couldn't sleep. The shelter was loud. People coughing. Babies crying. Footsteps in the hallway. Her phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. Another photo. This time of Marcus and Zara walking into the shelter earlier. Your children in a homeless shelter while you sue for money you don't deserve. What kind of mother are you? Grace sat up. Looked at that photo. Someone had followed them. Taken pictures of her children. She called Patricia. Didn't care that it was midnight. They're following us. Taking pictures of my kids. Who? Eleanor. Or someone she hired. I don't know. But this is harassment. Send me the photos. All of them. I'm filing a restraining order tomorrow. Will it work? It'll slow her down. That's all we can do right now. Grace sent the photos. Lay back down. Stared at the ceiling. 4 more days. She could survive 4 more days. Thursday Grace woke to Marcus shaking her. Mom. Mom, wake up. She sat up. What's wrong? Zara can't breathe. Grace jumped out of bed. Zara was sitting up wheezing. Gasping. Where's her inhaler? She used it already. 3 times. It's not working. Grace grabbed Zara. Ran down the hallway. Found the shelter supervisor. I need an ambulance. My daughter can't breathe. The supervisor called 911. 10 minutes later paramedics arrived. They put an oxygen mask on Zara. Loaded her into the ambulance. You coming with us? The paramedic asked. Yes. Grace looked at Marcus. Stay here. I'll call you. I'm coming too. Marcus, she's my sister. I'm coming. They all went. Back to the same Grace had been to 3 days ago. Different doctor. Same questions. Does she have asthma? Yes. Is she on maintenance medication? I can't afford it. The doctor's face hardened. This is the 2nd time this month she's been here. If you can't provide adequate medical care, we'll have to report to Child Services. Grace's blood went cold. I'm doing everything I can. It's not enough. Your daughter needs daily medication. Not just rescue inhalers. I know. I'm working on it. The doctor left without another word. Marcus grabbed Grace's hand. We're gonna lose her, aren't we? They're gonna take her away. No. I won't let that happen. But she didn't know if she could stop it. They kept Zara overnight. Observation. Grace and Marcus stayed in the waiting room. At 3 a.m. Grace's phone rang. Hospital again. Different floor. Mrs. Thompson. Vincent Thompson is asking for you. He says it's urgent. I'm already at the hospital. Different floor. Can you come to room 521? Grace didn't want to. But something in the nurse's voice made her go. She left Marcus in the waiting room. Took the elevator to the 5th floor. Vincent was sitting up. He looked terrible but alive. Grace. Thank God. What do you want? Vincent, they're discharging me tomorrow. I have nowhere to go. That's not my problem. Please. Just for a few days. Until I can figure something out. No. Grace, no, I'm in a homeless shelter with our children. Zara's downstairs in the ER because she can't breathe. Marcus is traumatized. And you want me to help you? Vincent's eyes filled with tears. I have nothing. No money. No family. No friends. I'm going to die out there. Then die. I don't care anymore. Grace turned to leave. Vincent grabbed her arm. Don't touch me. Her voice was ice. He let go. I'm sorry. For everything. I know I don't deserve your help. But I'm begging you. Grace looked at this man. Once her husband. Once her partner. Now a stranger. You made your choices. Now live with them. Or don't. But either way, you're not my responsibility anymore. She walked out. Didn't look back. Found Marcus in the waiting room. How's your sister? Stable. They said we can see her in the morning. They slept in plastic chairs. Uncomfortable. But together. Friday morning the doctor released Zara with new prescriptions. Grace looked at the total. $600. She had $800 in her account. From the church money and what was left. She paid it. Had $200 left. They went back to the shelter. Grace felt like she was walking through water. Everything was heavy. Hard. That afternoon Patricia called with news. Judge granted the restraining order. Eleanor can't contact you. Can't come within 500 feet. Can't post about you online. Will she follow it? She has to. Or she goes to jail. Small victory. Grace would take it. Saturday Grace took the kids to see the new apartment. The landlord let them do a walkthrough. It was small. Really small. But it was clean. Safe. Theirs. This is ours? Zara asked. Starting Monday, yes. It's perfect, Mommy. It wasn't perfect. But it was home. Marcus looked around. Calculating. Where will we sleep? You and Zara share the bed. I'll take the couch. That's not fair. It's fine. I don't sleep much anyway. They measured. Planned. Dreamed. For the first time in weeks Grace felt something like hope. Sunday Grace got a call from an unknown number. She almost didn't answer. Grace Thompson, yes, this is Janet from Bronx Community Services. I heard about your situation from Patricia Chen. I run a job placement program for women. Are you interested? Grace sat down. Yes. Absolutely. Great. Can you come in Tuesday for an interview? I can come Monday. Tuesday. Whenever you need me. Tuesday at 10. I'll text you the address. A job. A real job. With benefits maybe. A future. Grace hung up and cried. Happy tears. Exhausted tears. Relief tears. Marcus found her. Mom, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Everything's finally right. Monday morning they packed their trash bags one more time. Left the shelter. The other families watched them go. Some with hope. Some with envy. All understanding. The woman from dinner approached Grace. You made it out. Yeah, I did. Remember us when you're on the other side. I will. I promise. They took the subway to the Bronx. Met the landlord. Signed the lease. Grace handed over $1,200 cash. Got the keys. Opened the door to their new home. It was empty. No furniture. No food. But it was theirs. Marcus and Zara ran inside. Their voices echoing in the empty space. Grace stood in the doorway. Took it all in. 6 weeks ago she was stealing a turkey. Arrested. Convicted. Abandoned. Broken. Now she was here. Standing. Surviving. Fighting. Her phone buzzed. Text from Patricia. Settlement money cleared. Check your account. Grace opened her banking app. Held her breath. Balance $35, 247.18. She stared at that number. More money than she'd ever had in her life. Enough to breathe, to live, to start over. Zara came running back. Mommy, can we get furniture? Yes, baby. We can get furniture. And food, lots of food. And my medicine, all your medicine. Every month. I promise. That afternoon they bought an air mattress. Some pillows. Groceries. Grace filled the refrigerator. Filled the cabinets. That night they sat on the floor eating pizza. Their first real meal in their new home. Mom, Marcus asked. Yeah, are we gonna be okay now? Grace looked at her children. Her beautiful, resilient, brave children. Yeah, baby. We're gonna be okay. Tuesday Grace went to the job interview. Got hired on the spot. Office administrator. $40,000 a year. Health insurance. Paid time off. She started the following Monday. That week Grace filled prescriptions. Bought furniture. Enrolled the kids in new schools. Started building a life. Vincent called once. Grace didn't answer. He left a voicemail. Grace, I'm at a recovery center. Getting help. Real help this time. I don't expect you to forgive me. But I want you to know I'm trying. For me. Maybe one day for our kids too. I love you. I'm sorry. Grace deleted it. Maybe one day she'd be ready to hear that. But not today. Eleanor Patterson never contacted her again. The restraining order worked. Or maybe she just moved on to tormenting someone else. Either way, Grace was free. 3 months later, Grace stood in her apartment. It was furnished now. Pictures on the walls. Food in the fridge. Laughter in the rooms. Marcus had made honor roll. Zara's asthma was under control. Grace had 3 paychecks saved. She looked at a photo on the wall. Her and the kids on the day they moved in. Smiling. Hopeful. She remembered that night in the Patterson kitchen. The turkey in her hands. The lights coming on. Eleanor's face. Are you stealing from us? Yes. She had been. Stealing food to feed her children. Stealing hope from despair. Stealing survival from impossible odds. And she'd do it again. Every single time. Because that's what mothers do. They steal moments of joy in the midst of pain. They steal strength when they have none left. They steal tomorrow from today's impossibility. Grace wasn't ashamed anymore. Not of the turkey. Not of the arrest. Not of the shelter. Not of any of it. She'd survived. Her children had survived. They were together. They were safe. They were home. That was all that mattered. Her phone rang. Shanice. Girl, you busy? Never too busy for you. Good. Because I'm downstairs with Chinese food and wine. Let me up. Grace buzzed her in. Heard her footsteps on the stairs. Her knock on the door. Opened it to her friend. Her sister. Her lifeline. Welcome, Grace said. Thank you, Shanice replied. They hugged. Long. Tight. The kind of hug that says everything words can't. That night they ate. They laughed. They cried. They survived. Just like they always had. Just like they always would. Because that's what Black women do. That's what immigrant women do. That's what mothers do. They carry weight that would break mountains. They stand when standing seems impossible. They fight when fighting seems futile. And they win. Not because the world is fair. Not because justice exists. Not because anyone helps them. But because giving up isn't an option when you have children counting on you. When you have ancestors watching. When you have yourself to answer to. Grace Thompson had stolen a turkey. Lost everything. Survived anyway. And in the end, that survival wasn't about the money or the apartment or the job. It was about looking in the mirror and recognizing herself again. Seeing strength instead of shame. Seeing fighter instead of victim. Seeing mother instead of failure. She was Grace Thompson. Jamaican immigrant. Mother. Survivor. Warrior. And she was finally beautifully, powerfully free.